Saturday, September 22nd, 2018. I'm Justin Castelli. This is all about your Benjamins and your weekly mixtape and weekend review video. So I'm back. Sorry to have missed you last week, but we had an early morning soccer game. We have another one today, but last week was also my 12th wedding anniversary. So decided to put the weekend review video on hold to do some of a family anniversary day. So I apologize for not being with you last week, but I'm back. It was a relatively quiet week this week, so this week's video should be pretty quiet. So let's get into the news that's impacting your financial planning and portfolio. It's been a reoccurring theme over the summer, so we're gonna, bet you can guess, it's gonna be China, trade wars in the US, all of that conversation continuing. It was unveiled this week that there's gonna be another $200 billion of tariffs on Chinese products coming into the US. China, in response, canceled a scheduled talk to discuss the tariffs and trade conversation going forward. So the saga is going to continue. So we will continue to hear headlines of new tariffs probably, and back and forth between the US and China. Much as it has been all summer, has short-term impact on the market. A lot of times it will be a negative end of the day, and then the night goes by, the morning comes out, it appears to be not as bad as we thought, and the market recovers. So I hope you are not out there making portfolio changes in response to the week-to-week changes with the trade conversation between the US and China. But we had it this week, $200 billion of tariffs and a canceled conversation going forward to discuss the trade conversation between the US and China. Don't always love to address the markets. I don't think you should be thinking of it week to week, but it is a big part of what we do. So the markets continue to do very well, and there was an article in the Wall Street Journal that highlighted that the small cap and the mid cap stocks are leading this way for the US. So I bring this up only to stress the importance of diversification. Over the last 10 years or so, it's pretty much been large US companies. That's what's dominated by the news. When you hear the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones quoted, those are really large reflections of the large US companies. And if you only invest in those areas, you might be missing out on other areas. I will always be an advocate of a globally diversified portfolio, which includes small, mid, international bonds, includes everything, but a lot of investors out there are missing. So I bring this as a reminder of the importance of diversification, not to have you go chase returns and go put all your money in small and mid. That's not what I'm telling you to do. Just wanted to let you know that diversification is alive and well, and small and mid cap are helping out the portfolios this year. If you don't know if you have exposure, talk to your financial advisor and review your portfolio and review whether or not making any changes makes sense. Don't do it just because one area is doing better. That's the worst thing you can be doing. Stick to your diversified portfolio and don't chase returns. But just wanted to bring that to your attention. And finally, sticking with the markets, but again, something I don't really want to highlight, but it was a very interesting week in the stock Tilray, which if you're not familiar with, is all the buzz this week, a lot of news and coverage on it. It is a cannabis stock, one of the few cannabis stocks that's actually trading right now, a pure play into that market, if that's something of your interest. And it had a wild ride, very volatile this week. So an example of the insanity, it started the week at around 127 after being up some crazy, almost 200% year to date or something crazy like that. But started the week at 127. On Wednesday, it actually, in intraday, hit about 300, and it was halted 5 times, meaning trading had to stop because of processing news and so much overflow. And then it ended the week around 112. So it was actually down for the week after hitting such high levels. Reasons for this, you could have a number of them. It could be the algorithms trading it. It could be people catching on FOMO, wanting to get into it. But the reality of it is, this is a relatively new stock with a very low amount of shares of it available to be trading, so it can be moved very quickly when people get unreasonable and start acting crazy. So I do not want to put this out there as something you should be going to invest in, but it was something of an event this week on Wall Street, and something that if you're in investing, you may have heard of and watched, but it was craziness. So if you want to see something wild, go look at the chart of Tilray. Not an endorsement to buy it, not an endorsement to sell it or hold or do anything with it, just kind of, this is what happened this week on Wall Street. It was a wild ride for the stock. A reminder to getting a lot of comparisons to cryptocurrency late last year, and the insane increase in price, and then the volatility that came with it. So Tilray was an exciting week for an individual stock. I'm not making a recommendation to go buy anything in it. The neighbor's dogs want to say hello, which means it's perfect timing to wrap things up. So that's it for this week. Like I said, not a lot of news pertaining to your planning and portfolio. I'm heading to St. Louis tomorrow for the XY Planning Network annual conference. I'll be there through Wednesday. I will be blogging and doing video and recording a podcast while I'm there, so there'll be a lot of information and content coming from there. Be sure to check out for that. And then I wasn't here last week. I also will be missing next week's weekend review video, as when I come back Friday I leave to go out to Pennsylvania to participate next Saturday in the March for the Fallen put on by Alpha Architect. So next Saturday, instead of doing the video, I'll be marching 28 miles with a 35-pound rucksack on my back with a bunch of other people from around the country and in the world of finance. So it should be a good time, but I will not have another video. Real quick before I go, I want to give a big shout out to my pal on Twitter at brosen23 for the Air Max 1990 throwback t-shirt. Very much appreciated. Wanted to make sure I rocked it on this video and share a little love for sending that out. So B Rosen, thank you very much. Appreciate it. That's it. You guys have a great weekend, and I will see you back here in a couple weeks. Have a good one.